Welcome to the Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast review for Nintendo Switch. But actually, it's just me, and I'll turn this off now, as that is very loud. That is a Force FX lightsaber, in case anyone really wanted to know. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Reviewing Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Also, in case you're wondering, this is a proper robe for Jedi. It's got the badge on it and a really big hood, as you saw. But yeah, that's not a review of the jumper, although the jacket. Although this is rather nice dressing gown that I got for my birthday a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, on with the review. Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is it's a really old game that I think I played many moons ago it came out. I played it back in the day when I was I can't remember when I played it. A lot when I was much younger. And I loved it. It was one of my favourite games. Me and my brother played it on, it may have been our second family computer, which was a Dell, or my dad's work laptop. That was the kind of height of our technological prowess. Was a IBM ThinkPad or something like that. Anyway, that's not the point. So we loved playing it, and I've played it many times through. It's a really great story-driven game. There is fantastic combat for lightsabers, not so much for blasters, but I'll get onto that. But for lightsabers, at the time it was amazing what you could do with it. And obviously, being a PC game, you can mod it, you can add cheats to it. And actually, they've actually crossed over into the Switch version. I do believe you can get it for the PS4 as well. I know that it's on Steam, or you can still play it on PC. This review is on the Switch version because that's the version I've got. I will say I'm not paid to say this. This is just my review. It's my point of view. I paid my own money to get it when it came out. It's been out a couple of months now, and I have played it. If you have played it, let me know in the comments below, or if you played it beforehand. Again, something else to just be interested to find out who else has played it. But yeah, basically, you play as Kyle Katarn, who was a Jedi now turned smuggler, with his friend, he's like a companion, Jan Oz, and you work for the rebellion. You work for Mon Mothma, and there are other generals within the rebellion that you also work for. It's in the first, I guess, couple of missions, it's kind of like a first-person shooter. You can switch to third person with a click of, I believe it's the right stick, puts you in third-person view. I would say, it plays well as a first-person shooter. The real fun kicks in after you get your lightsaber back and get your force powers. That's when you can really start to get to grips with it and really start to cause havoc for the enemy. Essentially, like I said, the first couple of levels are, I guess, not a tutorial. They kind of teach you the controls. Even if it actually doesn't, there is no tutorial. You're just kind of thrown in. And actually, so you have a basic blaster and a stun rod if you have ammo. I say ammo, I assume it's like ammo and blaster power or whatever you want to say. Obviously, there are other blasters. There are bowcasters, rocket launchers, and obviously there are thermal detonators, there are trip mines, and obviously the lightsaber itself. I said the first couple of levels do take some getting used to. They are, I guess, a bit more challenging. The graphics are not updated. It is the same graphics we had back on the PC. Back then, it looked amazing. We were like, oh, this is fantastic. And actually nowadays, with the technology that we have, it's not as good. The gameplay is exactly the same, and that's kind of why I bought it and why I wanted to review for you guys. To say that actually, it's a really good, it's a really great game to play. If you're not, on the Switch, it's great because I can take it with me to work or upstairs in bed or whatever. I'm not limited to where I can play it, and obviously, it doesn't look any better on the PS4 as far as I know. I haven't played that one, so I don't know. But essentially, it's quite hard to hit the enemies. The hitbox is very, very small. So the enemies obviously the enemy AI isn't exactly very intelligent, but they move around a lot, and if you're trying to get a blaster shot off, it can be quite difficult. And it's something that I've really struggled with. I died a lot in the film. It's been a while since I've played it, but even playing, and obviously with the PC version, you are playing with a mouse and a keyboard, so your movement is a bit more controlled. On the Switch, you're literally playing with two joysticks, and obviously you can change the sensitivity. I did, and it didn't seem to help me at all. I still find myself blasting away loads of ammo into an enemy that just kept moving around, and I died a lot. There's enough health around. I played it on Padawan difficulty. It's like the easiest one. It goes up to Jedi Master. I can't even begin to get past the Padawan section of it. I haven't even tried to go to Jedi yet. But obviously some of you may have done that. But I personally haven't. But like I said, once you go past the first couple of levels, which can be a bit tiring, and I think if you look it up, there are ways to skip that completely. There are ways to go into the pause menu, and I think you press left stick, right stick, up, down, up, down. No, left stick, right stick, up, down, up on the D-pad. I found this out actually watching an IGN video, so shout out to those guys for putting the video out there. That brings up an in-game cheat menu, like a debug menu. You can give yourself health, give yourself force powers, you can give yourself every weapon, God mode, no clips, you can float through walls and also float through objects. You can also set warp points, so you can warp to the very last level of the game if you really wanted to. If you haven't played it, I say don't do that, because obviously you'll miss lots of the story. I have personally played it so many times, I don't mind warping around. Obviously, once you get the lightsaber, which you can get with the cheats, you can get in the very first part of the game. And being on the Switch, there are no trophies or achievements to lose out on by adding the cheats in. It just adds, I guess you're not playing the game the way it was intended, but the cheats are there. So they must have known you wanted to do that. Having a lightsaber from the get-go is a lot of fun. Having force lightning, force push, force pull. Being able to do all the crazy that Jedis can do, throw your lightsaber. Also, you can change the blade colour. So in the standard game, once you get it, it's a blue lightsaber, which is fine. Nothing again. This lightsaber I have here, this Force X one, is a blue lightsaber. This is Luke's first lightsaber, or Anakin Skywalker's last lightsaber, depending on how you want to look at it. But you can change the blade colour with the debug cheats, so you can have blue, green, red, obviously standard colours, purple, orange, or yellow, I believe. I normally go purple, just because having the purple there is kind of cool. It's a bit Mace Windu-y, and it's obviously, you don't get a lot of, although I think some people call it violet. I would say purple, but actually it might come under violet. But yeah, like I said, the game is fantastic to play. I'll have the trailer for it of gameplay on like half the screen, so you guys can check it out. Excuse me. You can obviously, with the warp thing, you can bounce around levels. I wouldn't say. With the difficulty of the way it is, it can be quite a long game and quite a challenging game to play. I obviously played it originally and played all the way through. Once you basically, the first couple of levels, you're on a base. Once you leave the base, you go to the Valley of the Jedi to regain your Force abilities. You then go to the Jedi Temple. You meet with Luke Skywalker, and from there you do a Jedi, I guess like a Jedi training academy, where you learn your Force pull, your Force push, your Force speed, and you have to use those abilities to eventually regain your lightsaber. It is a rewarding process of doing it, and obviously it does give you a good overview of what your abilities can do. And obviously, once you get your lightsaber, the world's your oyster. You can deflect shots with it. You get shot with a stormtrooper, you'll deflect it back, or you'll bounce off a wall. Obviously, you can throw it out, and obviously you can. And obviously, once it's out, if you move your direction, if you move your right stick, you will move the lightsaber. So if you throw it to an enemy and it'll go next to it or down the hall, you can push it out further, providing you've got the force power to do it. If you run out, again, if you go to the debug menu, you can just put more force power into it. Same with health. Obviously, God mode gives you everything. You can then obviously set your weapons. But But obviously, you can then obviously force lightning, force choke, all the kind of, and obviously that is more of the lightning and the choke, and much more of a dark side thing. But there's no kind of at this point they have light and dark powers. You'll fight any number of enemies, from your standard stormtrooper to a like an empire, like a general of the empire, or up to what I call a group of characters called reborns. They've been to the Valley of the Jedi and been imbued with Jedi abilities and given lightsabers by the big ass baddie who looks like a dodgy enemy from a Power Rangers thing with the graphics they are today. But again, if you played it, you know what I mean. If not, his name is Dasan. I don't know of him in like the Star Wars lore. I am quite a big Star Wars fan, but the game I just played because it was a really fun game to play. I've no idea if it goes into the comics or any of like the books and stuff. But his animation he looks like a bit of a crocodile, a bit like a T-Rex head on a body of a man sort of thing. But reborns obviously have lightsabers. That once you won't fight them until you have your own lightsaber. There is one fight you have with Dasan that you don't have a lightsaber for, and he will decimate you. With God mode on, it's funny because you can't die. So he'll just keep throwing you around and pummeling you. You won't be able to die, so you can't progress in the game. If you play it normally, you won't be able to you won't be able to win. You'll have a blaster, you'll shoot, he'll deflect it, you'll be dead. That has to happen, you'll be dead, but you get knocked out. That has to happen for the game to progress. Essentially, with a lightsaber in there, you can't win the fight, so there's no point even trying. But when you face the reborn, it does give another dynamic of lightsaber versus lightsaber battles. A lot of the battles you'll have with stormtroopers and Imperial troops or Imperial generals is that they'll shoot, you'll deflect it, you'll hit them, they're dead. There was a cheat back in the day where you could turn on a saber realistic combat and you could like take limbs off or heads off or cut them in half. There is no gore in this. It was never designed for that, but you could do it. Again, they obviously built it into the game. Cheats enable and mods enable you to do that. It does say, and obviously sometimes you can dismember people. It's not every time. It does have special attacks. You can't do a special attack, but when you hit them a certain way, they can lose an arm or a shoulder or something, which is a lot of fun. And it will go almost like a slow motion kill. But obviously, you're one hit and they're dead. Doesn't take much of a lightsaber to kill people. When you face a reborn, I mean, I do it for fun, but if you throw your lightsaber, they can actually deflect that and it will bounce off and land on the floor. And you'll hear like a metal ching 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 as it hits the floor. You're then weaponless. You have your blasters, but your lightsaber is on the floor. If you then press your attack button, Carl will put his hand out and summon the lightsaber to him, which in the middle of a big lightsaber battle just looks amazing. I mean, like, genuinely throw the lightsaber out. It looks cool anyway. You hear it get deflected and hit the floor. Ching, ching, ching. If you then run, like, the enemy will still come towards you and attack you. Without God mode, you'll die. But obviously, if you run towards them, whatever, you can force jump over them, hit your attack and summon your lightsaber, which will fly towards you. As soon as you grab it, it ignites, and then you go back to the combat. If you haven't played it, look it up. I advise you to play it anyway because it's a fantastic game. But yeah, it looks great when it's done. The other thing when you get lightsaber versus lightsaber is you can collide with each other and you'll lock in. And then it's like a button mashing. You basically mash the attack button, pushing your lightsaber forward as they're bringing back. If you let go, they'll push you back. Basically what will happen is they will get pushed over, their arms will fly wide, their lightsaber is up. It's a great time to get slicing in there. They'll take more hits because they're deflecting you technically. Again, if you get a good kill, you'll also cut them in half or cut the arms off. It goes like slow motion, the camera will pan round. And you'll be able to, you'll get like a slow motion kill cam almost. First time I saw that in a game, probably. Not sure. But yeah, like I said, once you obviously there are enemies that obviously you won't be able to reach with a lightsaber just because they're further along. It's a lot of fun, is all I'll say. You know, I'll say way more than that, but It is a lot of fun. Obviously, it is old. So if you do want to get it or do intend to get it, keep that in mind. Obviously, it doesn't look as polished as, for instance, the new. I've gone completely blank about the new Star Wars game that comes out in like 2 weeks. Fallen Order, I think it's called Star Wars: The Fallen Order. Anyone who's seen trailers for that will know that it looks amazing and the combat looks great. This is not that kind of game. It's very story orientated, and you will root for the characters as you play through them. Once you get your force powers and your lightsaber, the world is pretty much your armadillo. You can go and do what you want. Obviously, it's not free roam; it's level based. You'll fight ATSTs with rocket launchers or gun turrets. If you have God mode, you can throw your lightsaber. Eventually, it will die. But without God mode, they'll just stand on you and you'll be dead. The death animations are shocking at best. But again, this is a very old game that they've, I guess, just a resurgence of it has come out. I could blabber on about it for ages. The levels, the combat. But yeah, I advise you to play it. It is a fantastic game. Really is fantastic. You can get it for the PS4. I've got mine for the Switch. Recently, I've been playing a lot on my Switch. There's more games out for it that are just, obviously we've got Pokemon 2 weeks away. I'll be doing a little segment on what I'm excited about for that. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, like I said, if you want to get it, I would advise you to get it. If you're on the fence, don't be. Just get it. Yeah, that's kind of it for me. Thanks very much for watching. Gonna do some more videos soon. Got a review on the Sims 4 Realm of Magic. And I have a new blaster from X Shot to review, so look forward to that. Thanks very much for your time. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.